Good morning. Good morning. Still got that cold, but we're going to do the show. The show must go on, folks. Show must go on. Today is Thursday, January 18th. Got a good show for you, playing a little music, a little mellow music here. We're expecting some more snow today. We have a heat wave. It's 12 degrees in Illinois, and we're expecting some snow. Welcome to the show. DJ Wonder Chrissy, Migrant Mayhem. This is Land Cruiser Midwest, folks. Let's listen to the little mellow music and we'll get started here shortly. It's over. That was quick. All right. On with the show. So here we go. We're going to talk about EVs. The EV issues are getting worse in Chicago. They're all over the place. People can't get them charged, and their infrastructure just is terrible, which I agree. I know some people with Teslas and... Oh. Wow. I know some people with Teslas and they're looking like fools now because can't take them out of the garage. They're liable to drain out and leave yourself stuck somewhere. And as I said before, I love the smell of premium gas in the morning. I just like to hop in my car and go, and when I need gas, I pull up to the gas station. 5 minutes later, I'm on my way. These EVs takes hours to charge them. You gotta wait in line because there's not enough chargers. Why anyone would buy one of these cars, especially if you don't have a charger at home? I realize people got a lot of money, they like to blow it, they live in an apartment. What a mess. But hey, you buy one of these things, you're stuck with it. So let's listen in on what Fox has to say about the EVs.
Vehicle owners, Teslas are dying in line at charging stations, having to be towed back home as owners say the cold is affecting their batteries.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Nothing, no juice. It's still on 0%. And this is like 3 hours this morning being out here, after being out here 8 hours yesterday.
It's just frozen, and so I'm getting it towed to the Tesla service center because that's my only option at this point.
No response from Tesla. We have been suffering since yesterday afternoon.
This is crazy. It's a disaster.
You just heard from Shaylease Mazel, and she is here now to talk about that situation. Shaylease, what was that like? That seems so annoying.
Yes, it was. It was a complete disaster for the winter storm. A lot of people's cars were left overnight. Everyone had to get, a lot of people had to get towed. Chargers weren't working at the charging stations, and that led to a lot of the issues because the chargers were not working.
Where do you lay the blame, Shaylease?
I think it's Tesla. You know, I love my car. However, the Tesla charging stations, they need to have maybe someone manning those stations or something like that, because it was very disappointing to get to the charging stations and see that they were frozen or they weren't working for whatever reason.
Yet you said that at one point there were 8 or 9 cars in front of you, and it takes about 30 minutes to charge each car, and your battery was about to die. So then you had to pay for your car to get towed to the next charging station. This just sounds so stressful, like a huge waste of time and money, but you still say that you love your Tesla. Why?
Just because it's a great car. You know, it does, it's not
this is why people are. Let's play this thing here. This is Fitz here, right?
Humans may be fueling global warming by breathing. Okay, could all the people who wanted the paper straws wrapped in plastic, can you stand up, please? Okay, hold your breath. All the people who identify as French toast or whatever and watch CNN, you can hold your breath too. And if you can't hold your breath for long enough, you can just trade in your old paper masks for one of these new plastic ones. Because, you know, I'm not that big on the environment, but I'm down to save the planet. One idiot at a time.
So there you go. Let's save the planet. Definitely save the planet. One idiot at a
Not bad
time.
in the wintertime, like everyone says. It's just a great car. I love the way it drives.
When you were at those charging stations, Elise, were people nice, or was it like every man for themselves? Scary situation.
Yeah, it was like every man. It was like every man for themselves. No lie. Like people getting there on like 0%. So everyone was kind of desperate to get the, to get charged. So you got people trying to pay bills and, pay people. It was crazy. It was literally.
You be
like
crazy,
that.
girl. You be crazy.
I think multiple things can be true. I think the Tesla's an awesome looking car. I've ridden in one. I like it. But at the same time, the Biden administration does seem to want to completely eliminate fossil fuels and force electric everything down our throats, regardless of whether you want it like you do or not. By the looks of your experience, I would say we aren't even close to ready for electric everything. What say you, Shaylise?
I kind of agree with it a little bit, slightly, because I feel like right now we don't have the capacity right now. We need more charging stations. That's the main thing. We need working charging stations.
Yep.
So
well, you just ordered a
you
charging station for yourself. So you are now squared away and ready to go. Even though it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, so
Damn it, Tesla didn't even have charging
This was
stations.
my
What a
first
fool.
winter with a
What a
Tesla.
fool.
It's a learning curve.
Shaylise, you're a fool.
Yeah, I'll be very prepared.
Shaylise, a Tesla driver and a Yankee fan in Chicago. Shaylise, keep up the fight there
get
in
rid
the
of her.
city. Go Yankees.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox.
Move her to New York City. Jeez. All right, so enough with the EVs. Let's I got some Illinois GOP videos. These will make your stomach turn.
Skip this ad, but don't skip the part that can help you get the job done.
And
Members of the body.
let's watch these. The problem I have here, these are new videos. They're complaining about data that's come out in the news like 6 weeks ago, and they're putting up a good front. They say that we've got to change everything and do this and do that, but too late, folks. The Illinois GOP's got no say in Illinois government. They're putting up a good front, and that's about it. It's good PR, but we can listen to it and laugh. So let's watch this.
I rise to acknowledge a humanitarian crisis
that has been self-inflicted on the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, and that has to do with the illegal migrant surge. I understand that this body passed something called the Trust Act in 2017. Which doesn't allow.
And this guy's the rep for my district too, just FYI.
The identification of those that are in our country illegally. The objective of this, I understand, was to take care of the world's population. I stood up in May and stated, although we may want to do that, we don't have the resources to do that. I understand we just sent $680 million additional money to take care of the illegal migrants. My question to this body:
These numbers are shocking. I mean, they don't shock me, but I mean they are shocking. They are unbelievable. And if you're a taxpayer in Illinois, take note, folks. Take note.
As we go into budget season, is what's the number? What is the number that we will support and represent? What is the number that the citizens of our state want us to represent? I've seen on the news many of the neighborhoods in Chicago, residents that are wondering where are the assets and the money for the services that they need. And I can't help but sit out there in the suburbs and think, when is it going to come to our neighborhoods? Well, 2 weeks ago, there was a train of migrants that were dropped off in Fox River Grove in the 52nd District. The community is woefully unprepared financially and social service-wise to take care of them. I've also spoken to a number of food banks in my community. Not just over the last year, but over the last 3 years, they have been inundated with non-resident applications for food, going to a point where they are in need. Most nonprofits are being inundated. My question to this body is, to virtue signal and believe we can take care of the world's population is wonderful. It's a great political statement. But the assets required to do it will go through a budget process. NBC News discovered that $200,000 per housekeeper was being spent.
Here's the
on
numbers.
Migrants, and $312,000 for security guards. My friends, this needs to stop. My question is, when will we get cold feet and stop spending money that our citizens don't expect us to? There are plenty of cold feet already in the ridiculous tents on the south side and the center of Chicago, and it needs to stop. This is a humanitarian crisis. We should know better. And I ask the body to address this before we get to a budget session and $2 billion gets pulled out of multiple programs and handed off to illegal migrants. And I hope you join me in this. Thank you.
Okay, so we have some more of that. Let me pull that up. Here's another guy who talks about the sanctuary status, which they had a vote on it like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in the city of Chicago, and Brandon rigged that they would vote down the ability of people to vote for sanctuary city status or not. So, I mean, as much as Brandon complains about spending all this money, he won't allow the citizens to pull off the sanctuary city tag in Chicago.
I just wanted to talk a little bit on the Trust Act. As a law enforcement officer since 1993, I can tell you that it is just insane that you have one law enforcement agency not able to speak to another. And when we're looking at some of the worst coming to our country, being let in or coming in spots where they're not being caught, but then saying, oh, come on in. We're welcoming you here to this state. For us to not be able to speak to ICE is, again, insane. So we need to repeal the Trust Act. At least we need to repeal that part, if not all of it. When you look at trying to take folks that came here illegally, and when law enforcement has a run-in with them, where they find these folks through a call that they came to, and to not be able to hold on to this person for a federal agency puts our tax-paying citizens at risk. It puts everyone at risk, even the person that is here illegally. Once folks find out, we don't want any vigilantism, but what's going on in this country, I think we're going to start seeing that, where people start taking things into their own hands.
That's how bad NYC's
Those
gotten,
are things
folks.
that we have to make sure and try to get a handle on, and part of that is by repealing the Trust Act. So I'm hoping that people come to a table with level heads to understand that our job as elected officials is to protect those taxpayers that pay our salaries, that pay for everything under this dome. Many of those folks are having real tough times right now with the bills mounting on their table, trying to pay for health insurance. Yet you come here illegally and you get health insurance? That just doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense, but that's the reality of it.
When our folks are struggling to pay their bills, we are now paying for someone to have free health care? That should anger our citizens immensely.
A lot of angry
Elections
people,
have
folks.
consequences, and you're seeing part of that now.
Okay, so that was Representative Cabello. Let's see, I might even have one more. Here's a guy, Sosnowski. He talks about the crisis a little bit. Let's see what he's got to say.
Thanks so much. And I'll just kind of wrap it up and kind of discuss a local level and how that affects our local communities. Obviously, I don't
these are
any of the
Republicans.
border
I
states,
expect this.
Texas, Arizona,
We're
et cetera, that are having migrant
Democrats,
issues.
folks.
When poor federal policy allows hundreds of thousands of individuals to bleed over the borders in a single month, allowing essentially everybody to claim amnesty, that word spreads. And as we've seen, the numbers have continued to tick up year over year due to that bad policy. And what is a state like Texas or Arizona, et cetera, going to do with hundreds of thousands of individuals, again, each month that are coming over? The costs are astronomical. We hear the mayor of Chicago complaining about the tens of thousands that we're working with in Illinois here, and the cost that is associated with that. So that trickle down is an extremely high cost, as was highlighted here with what we're spending here in Illinois, well over $1 billion for services for migrants, illegal immigrants, et cetera, through healthcare and other things. And as we see that trickle down to the lower level of governments or local communities, number one, are dealing with transportation issues. When we have communities like Rockford that just don't have the services to take in hundreds of individuals, having to bring them to Chicago, but also the surrounding cities in and around Chicago. We've got thousands of people, children that need services. So what's happening because of our open door policy? These children are now getting into our school systems. That's creating more of a burden on local property taxes for school districts. And you have a lot of those types of demands at all types of levels. And as was very clearly said here, and my colleagues mentioned, you have these policies, word spreads, the numbers continue to increase. And so not only the border community states are sending folks, but people are asking to come to Illinois because of the platinum benefits. Now that hurts our residents because we have Illinois tax-paying residents, 12.5 million or so, that are putting money into our state economy. And those resources are expected to take care of our roads, our bridges, our police, infrastructure, school systems for Illinois residents. And we obviously are one of the highest tax states, as everybody knows, with property taxes and other taxes included. If we would stop spending those dollars on non-resident services, those are dollars that we can open up year over year to drive down costs for our Illinois residents. And that should be our priority. That should be this administration's priority.
So there you go. That's some Republicans from Illinois and what they have to say about the situation. Let me stop this. As I said, it's a little too much, not much, too late. They're at the mercy of the Democrats. We'll see what the Democrats have to say. They just went into session this week. There's no way of sugarcoating this. We are trying to treat a gunshot wound with duct tape here, folks. Duct tape and maybe some sugar or something. We don't have the tools. We're at the mercy of what we did ourselves. We opened up, we became a sanctuary state, we became a sanctuary city in Chicago. And now people are testing us. They're testing, hey, if you're a sanctuary city, you voted for that, this is what you need to take care of. And I agree with that. If you are a sanctuary city, you need to be able to take care of these people. And city of Chicago is not doing that at all. Not at all. They are woefully inept, incompetent at doing what they're doing. They're spending tens of millions of dollars on a monthly basis. We're making other people rich and we're heading towards bankruptcy as a city and a state. This will probably take down Illinois, just as New York City said over a month ago that their viability is on the line. We're in the same boat. We're worse than New York, I would think. We had during the jabby, we had to get $40 billion from the government, just like New York and California. So fiscally and financially, the state of Illinois is just not equipped for anything, and certainly not a crisis like this. Our politicians are lying to us left and right. I don't expect much to get done, even though the Republicans, you heard from 3 different Republicans, they're putting up a good show, talking a good show, but when the metal meets the road here in Illinois, not much ever gets done, and we love to spend. We do not have a revenue problem in Illinois. I've said this time and time again. We do not have a revenue problem. It's a spending problem. We spend more than we make. It can't happen if you, the consumer, tries to do that. If you spend more than you make, at some point you run out. And you got to pay the piper, right? Well, that's what Illinois has done for many, many years, and they keep coming up with creative ways to kick the can down the road and continue to spend without having to curtail their spending and prioritize like they should. Well, I'm going to end there for today. Thank you for watching. Hey, want to do shout out to some of the great viewers: Big Toy, Virtual Reality, David Larson, Jeff Allen, Robin Burke, and Mary Jo Braun. Hey guys, I love your comments. Keep them coming. Keep watching Land Cruiser Midwest. Like, share, and subscribe. It's all about you, the viewer. Thank you. Over and out.